In a previous video using this working sample, we demonstrated how to install the Blum Tandem runners to achieve an overlaid drawer front on a face frame cabinet. In this video, we're going to use the same drawer runners, the same tandem runners, to demonstrate how to achieve not an overlay drawer front, but an inset drawer front on face frame cabinets. Now, the video is specifically for the H series of Blum tandems, and that is maximum drawer box material of 5/8 of an inch or 16 millimeters thick. Also, locating the rear mounting brackets in these cabinets, face frame cabinets, can be difficult, so I've included a clip from a previous video to demonstrate the installation of the rear mounting brackets. Then after we've got that all done, we'll tackle the proper setback for the drawer runners here in order to achieve an inset application and get a perfect fit. Building of the wooden drawer box will be featured in a different video. The first thing I like to do is install the rear mounting brackets into the cabinet, and that can be a challenge at times. So I like to make a template like the one you see here. And in the manufacturer's drawing you see on the right there, the red line in that drawing reflects the lines that I'm drawing on the template. So I'll draw for the left and the right side of the cabinet. And the reason I do that is because sometimes the space behind the face frame is different. And if you don't do it for both sides, you could run into trouble if you tried to flip the template. So there, those lines are drawn, and now we move on to the next step in this process, and that is locating a vertical line that goes right up the center of the rear mounting bracket. We're trying to locate the center of those oval holes that you see in the mounting bracket. So we're moving over by 14 millimeters, 9/16 of an inch from the side of the face frame over and marking the template and drawing a line that'll help us to identify exactly where to make the holes for mounting the rear mounting bracket. Now we have the vertical line drawn, and now we need to locate the center of the oval hole on the horizontal line, and that we measure up 5/8 of an inch from the bottom of the drawer runner, like you see here in this image, and make a mark for the bottom cabinet, or the bottom drawer, and we do the same thing on the top drawer. I'll locate the center of the oval hole. And with that done, we move on to the oval hole that's in the top of the rear mounting bracket. And that means another 1.25 inches or 32 millimeters up from the other hole. And we'll mark those in. And now we have the center of the oval hole on the top of the rear mounting bracket and the center of the oval hole on the bottom of the rear mounting bracket. So we're ready to go. We can take our drill and drill some holes right through our template. And you can see the little red dots on the rear mounting bracket. That's where those holes are. I'll take the template now, as you can see how it fits behind the face frame and what we've done. And I'm going to move that template to the back of the cabinet and use it to make some pilot holes for mounting the rear mounting brackets. So here's the left side. I'll drill for the lower drawer and the upper drawer. Now the right side for the lower drawer and the upper drawer. And now the pilot holes are there. I can start installing my rear mounting brackets. Now again, the screws that we're putting in here go in the center of the oval hole. It's a panhead screw. And manufacturers like to have 3 screws in the rear mounting bracket or socket, whatever you want to call it. And personally, I put 4 in. And in this sample that I'm making, I'll only put in 3. So it's the center of the oval hole and then an extra screw on each bracket to meet specifications. The rear mounting brackets are in, so now we can put our drawer runners in there, slide them onto the bracket, and then we'll let the front end of them rest on the face frame or the cross piece so we can put in the screws. You'll see here that the bracket allows plenty of forward and backward movement from 1/4 of an inch to 1 7/8 on that bracket range or socket, whatever you want to call it. And I think that's plenty. We're going to need that range because, as you can see here, when we do an inset cabinet, we have to slide this drawer slide back quite a ways. When we were doing the overlay drawer front, our drawer runner could rest on the face frame. But now, with an inset cabinet, we're sliding way back. We have to find a way to solve this because we have no place to attach our drawer slide. What that means to us is that we need to have a blocked out face frame, and that's where this comes in handy. We can block out behind the face frame, whatever that space is, and attach our drawer runner to that. So let's get going. This image helps us to see the location of the horizontal line of holes in the drawer runner for fastening to the cabinet. The first line of holes is at 25 millimeters up from the cross rail or the bottom of the runner, and the top line of holes is 37 millimeters up from the bottom of the runner or from the cross rail. Now that we've established where our horizontal line of holes are, so we get our drawer slide mounted correctly this way, up and down on the front. Now we have to figure out runner setback. How far do we go into the cabinet for an inset drawer front? Let's take a look at this drawer box. If we're doing an inset drawer front, we need to know the thickness of the drawer front here. We need to know the thickness of the sub front, and we need to know which ones of these front fixing devices we're using on our drawer box. And in all of the Woodworkers bundles featured in this video, that's already taken into consideration. So we're looking at drawer front thickness and sub front thickness. Blum has provided a real nice table for determining runner setbacks. And you'll see in this table that they've got the picture of the front fixing brackets that we use in the bundles. And so let's just do an example. Let's say that we have a drawer front thickness of 5/8 of an inch or 16 millimeters right here, and a sub front thickness of 16 millimeters or 5/8 of an inch shown here. Then we'd have a runner setback of 20.5 millimeters or 13/16 of an inch. That's how you would work it to determine your runner setback. Now, another way that I like to do it is to calculate the runner setback is to just use the formula. The subfront thickness plus the drawer front thickness minus 11.5 millimeters or 7/16 of an inch. However you do it, it comes out the same. If you're using 5/8 subfront and 5/8 drawer front, then you're going to have a 20.5 millimeter runner setback or 13/16 of an inch. Now we're back to the actual drawer box sample where we apply what we've learned. The runner setback is the distance from the front of the face frame to the front edge or leading edge of the drawer runner. That's the runner setback. And then how do we mount the runner? It's by using any one of those screw holes. But that top screw hole, the screw hole location for that is 7 millimeters plus the runner setback. Now the other hole, the slotted hole location, is a good location to use when your front fixing brackets don't have in and out adjustability. And in these bundles, they do not have in and out adjustability. So if you use the center of the slotted hole, that is 20.5 millimeters back from the runner setback. And then you'll install that, and if that works perfect, then you can put screws in the other locations. These details are important, but one final thing is how deep do you build a cabinet? The inside cabinet depth from the front of the face frame to the inside of the back of the cabinet. That depth has to be a minimum of the runner length plus the runner setback plus 6 millimeters or 1/4 of an inch. Then you'll have plenty of room to install this drawer slide. Well, there it is. Our Inset drawer runners are installed. And now we'll test it out by installing the drawer boxes on these runners. And there it is. Well, wait a minute, you might say. That's great for the H series of runners, where you have a drawer material that's up to 5/8 of an inch thick. But how do you calculate the runner setback for the F series, where you have up to 3/4 inch drawer box material? Well, let me show you that right now. This table shows you the bundles that are available from Woodworkers Hardware for the F series of drawer runners, where you have a maximum drawer material of 3/4 of an inch thick. And this is the table that you would use to determine what your runner setback is. Let's just take an example. You have a drawer front that's 3/4 of an inch thick. And the subfront on the box is also 3/4 of an inch thick. Well, then you would have a runner setback of 23.5 millimeters. And then you can plug it into this video because all of the measurements are identical except for the runner setback, whether you're using the H series or the F series. Or you can use the formula here at the bottom of the table, which I usually use. Well, we did it. We got the Inset drawer video done, and we actually included both series of the undermount slide from Blum, the F series for 3/4 inch drawer side material and the H series for up to 5/8 of an inch thick drawer side material. So I hope you found the video useful, and if you did, give us a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and subscribe. And thanks for watching.